Now, as we celebrate Black History Month, and this morning, we're walking the runway back in time to the Harlem Renaissance, turning those signature looks into modern-day masterpieces with some help from fashion and costume historian Shelby Ivey Christie. You can shop all of these looks by scanning the QR code on our screen. Wonderful to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Excited. What is it about that it just makes it timeless, the fashion?
I think it's just those statement pieces, right? If the pandemic taught us anything, it's to get out the house, don't waste your statement pieces, wear them. And I think that's what resonates with us. We love a good statement piece.
I love that, a good statement piece. So we have some wonderful models. They're producers here on our staff. So Candace is going to come out first. She has a faux fur coat. Who does this make us think of?
I mean, this immediately goes to Josephine Baker.
Yes.
She was a fur woman. I mean, she loved a good fur. And let's just jump right into it, right?
Okay.
I mean, this beautiful coat. African Americans have historically coveted and loved furs. This was a vehicle to show kind of our accomplishments at a time in the 1920s and 30s where Black people maybe couldn't own property like home ownership. This was a way for them to kind of show their achievements, mark their accomplishments, right? And it's also a staple in Black womanhood. We hand down fur coats through our heritage. It's a legacy. It's a way to just show your reverence for other women. I myself have inherited a white fur fox from an aunt of mine. And you're looking beautiful here in this H&M fur, and I just love this. This is a fabulous outfit, a leather pant. I mean, look at it.
You're making me tear up because my mama had a fur coat, and I remember her wearing it, and it got so old. I mean, it had like a safety pin that was holding it up, but she passed it all down.
Yeah.
Hey, all right, Candace, thank you so much. And now our producer, Sean, is going to come out. We're thinking about the zoot suit, Louis Armstrong.
Yeah, Louis Armstrong. So the zoot suit was actually early streetwear. If you can imagine, you could not get a zoot suit in the store. So you kind of had to go and get a suit that was 1 or 2 sizes too big. You had to take it to your homeboy in the neighborhood who knew how to hook it up and kind of tailor it to that silhouette, right? And the predecessor to the zoot suit was actually the drape suit. So it would feature a broad shoulder and a cinched waist, kind of that V line. But yeah, similar to what we saw Dapper Dan do decades later in the 80s, taking mass-produced clothing and tailoring it to the African-American taste.
Come on, work it, Sean. I know, look at you like doing that little with the lapels and everything. Last and certainly not least, my producer, Maya Green, with that beaded dress like that. Bessie. Harkening back to Bessie.
What a beauty in that dress. I mean, let's talk about sequin, right? First of all, we see a great example here in the studio where sequin and beading really catches the light. And we're talking about the jazz era. You know, they're doing all the swing and the Lindy Hop, and that dress was really going to catch that movement if you had beading. And that really comes from the cultural kind of obsession with Tut mania at the time. In the 1920s, they opened King Tut's tomb, and people were obsessed with the trends that they saw in those hieroglyphs, the blunt cut bob, right, Cleopatra's bob, those wing liners, but also there were beaded net dresses found in the hieroglyphs. And so we see the trickle down into the Harlem Renaissance where they really embraced that beading. And like I said, they were in those jazz clubs. They wanted to catch that light and catch that movement. And there it is.
I think it's the first time I've seen Maya's legs. She just got on flat, so it's good. Looks good, Maya. Oh, and what are you're sporting a look here as well?
Oh yes, I am sporting a look here as well. So nails are actually historically a class signifier. So dating all the way back to ancient Egyptians again, in ancient Chinese culture, women of noble descent would kind of wear more vibrant nails, reds, pigment indigo, and then those of lower class systems would wear nudes, neutrals, and also length played into kind of here I'm playing on it, but length played into a class signifier. In the Harlem Renaissance, we saw the Great Migration, right? A lot of African Americans moved out of the South. They moved up north where they could be entrepreneurial. They weren't working with their hands as much. They weren't scrubbing dishes or doing domestic work, and so they could maintain a manicure. And it was a way to showcase, I made it, I've arrived.
Okay, and briefly, Fashion Week. What do you expect? What are you excited about?
I'm excited about Laquan Smith today. Loire, he makes beautiful handbags. The Black designers have been bringing all the innovation, and so I'm really excited to see what happens.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and thank you to our models/staff here, all fine producers, 2 of which live in Harlem, by the way.
Oh wow!
I just outed you, Sean, because you don't live there, all right? But all of these outfits are shoppable on our website, GoodMorningAmerica.com. Thank you so much for that history lesson. Appreciate that. Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.